welcome to the press conference held by the State Council Information Office. Today, we are honored to invite Mr. Liu Guoqiang, the Deputy Governor of the PBOC, to brief you about China's financial statistics in H1 2023 and answer some of your questions. And with him, we also have Madam Ran Jianhong, spokesperson of the PBOC and Director General of the Statistics Analysis Department, and also Mr. Zhou Lan, Director General of the Monetary Policy Department of PBOC. Now the floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, good morning. In the recent years, the PBOC stick to the Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for the new era and implement decisions and of the CPC Central Committee and State Council, and we stick to the prudent military policies and also strengthen our efforts to serve the real economy and also deal with the counter-cyclical measures. And we could see a big increase happened in Q1 and a little bit back down in May and April, and then a curve back up again in June. So overall, it's stable performance, and liquidity in the banking system maintained reasonable ample, and the growth in total credit became more stable, and the cost of the financing decreased, and we see more support to the real economy by the financing sector. Looking at the total, and the liquidity maintained reasonable ample, serving the real economy. In H1, the triple R lowered 0.5, raised more than 500 billion yuan in long-term liquidity. And by the end of June, M2 broad money supply and aggregate financing, and also the outstanding of the RMB loan increased by 11.3%, 9%, and 11.3% respectively. And H1 aggregate financing in the economy increased by 21.55, that reached 21.55 trillion yuan year on year, which was 15.73 yuan in total. And judging the DA structure and the credit structure was continuously improved. The PBOC in recent years has introduced a range of targeted structural monetary policy tools, and is with its focus and also with ample room of the maneuvering, and will further support the loan to small and medium enterprises, and also give the support to the inclusive loans, the green development, infrastructure construction, and other key people's livelihood products, and also the weak links. By the end of June, the outstanding balance to the manufacturing increased by 43.3% and 29 percentage points higher than the average. Outstanding balance of the loan to the infrastructure increased by 15.8%. And 4.5 percentage points higher than the average. And also, we talk about the outstanding balance of loans to specialized and sophisticated enterprises that produce new and unique products increased by 24.4% year on year. And the outstanding loan of inclusive loans to macro and small business increased, and that's the 12.4 percentage points higher than the growth rate of loans. A total of 59 million, nearly 60 million micro and small business received inclusive loan, a year-on-year increase of 43.3%. And also the housing loans around the 56 billion yuan. And the overall financing cost of the real economy dropped significantly. And we also work on the structural loan and also further improve the LPR reform, and in order to deliver benefits. The 1-year and 5-year LPRs were lowered by 10 basis points, respectively, and helping to reduce overall financing cost of the real economy and also for the people getting loans. For the weighted average interest rate on newly issued corporate loans was 3.96%, 25 basis points lower than the previous year, and the PBOC released the loan. That's the weighted average interest rate of the new loans to the housing market. That's also 10 basis points lower than the previous year. Going forward, the PBOC will continuously work on the measures and the we are doing and focusing on deepen the counter-cyclical environment and also to further cultivating the internal driving forces and to defuse and deal with the loans in order to cultivate a healthy circle in the economy. Thank you very much. Now the floor is open. Please identify your media outlet before raising questions. Nikkei. And beginning of this year, we have seen a recovery happened in China's economy, but the experts says is lower than the market expectations. How PBOC read the growth rate of China's economy and any measures will be taken in the second half of this year? Thank you for your question. Judging from the current downward of the China's economy, I've seen a lot of discussions around this. Yes, indeed, we will not run away from the problems we're facing. Having said that, you need to look at the problems, but also you need to see the positive sides of all these issues. We have seen that many highlights happened in the economic performance and showing a recovery momentum. First, the financing continued to give support to the infrastructure, and by the end of June, the 15.8% of the increase happened in the financing given to loans to the infrastructure construction. And we also have the structural tools have used 70% of them already reimbursed, and PMI by the end of June above 55 threshold. And second, we can see the lending loan cost also lowered. For the short-term loan increased by 390 billion, to 419 billion yuan more. By the end of June, the mortgage loan is dropped by 0.51 percentage points. And also we have seen a rapid growth happen. So we have seen the traffic compared to the 2019 increase a lot, especially in June and July. And we also give further support to the key areas. For example, give support to the small and medium enterprises, and they also show a strong resilience in their performance. By the end of June, 26.1% increase in the loans given to the SMEs and loan to the infrastructure and also to the manufacturing also increased by 40%. All these happened against the backdrop of the sluggish international economic environment and also a sharp decrease in exports of many countries. But if you look at if settled in RMB, China's foreign trade also show positive growth. Among these, the private sector-owned brands, their exports increased by 11.5%. So the fundamentals of China's economy going forward in the long run has not changed. Right now, we are facing some challenges, but that's also caused by the April pandemic effect. That's need time to digest. right? We talk about way back to normal, and that should be around 1 year. Right now, China just back to the normal. It's a half a year, so it's need more time. Otherwise, right now we see the positive signs. But having said that, China has strong resilience, and we have many driving forces. And also, we can see that these are the effective tools to deal with the external and the volatilities. And also, right now, we have seen that the transformation happened in green industry and also the recovery in the consumption market. And we also have accumulated the elements to foster the high-quality development. Therefore, and also the inflation in the international market actually is really stubborn. But right now, looking at China's CA price decrease, but it's no deflation. And that could be a further curve going down in July as well. That's because of the base number. Because last year, the base number at this time period were actually quite high. And also, so people start buying more. But we could see that M2 that's increased very fast. And also, ODs quite different from DA classic, typical type of deflation happened in the past. So you're looking at the economy actually is going up, the curve going up, and also could see that we will also not have a deflation in the second half of this year. With more pro policies start to deliver their benefits, and the more gap will be filled in, and the CPI after August will coming back up, and in July will be a little bit lower, and then there'll be curve going up again. Of course, that's based on our estimation. And overall, the CPI momentum will be a U curve. And within the year, the pricing level will be close to CPI 1%. And we will also further expand the efficient supply, and also to have a prudent monetary policy will be a stronger and also targeted and help us to deal with the unexpected changes. So we have ample room for changes and deal with the surprises, and we'll also manage the targeted measures and also strengthen efforts to deal with the counter-cyclical the adjustments and creating a enabling environment to serve the road economy. And we will also further to support the road economy to lower the financing costs and also effectively support the demand side in terms of structure. And we will also make sure that we are flexible and resilient. And for the key sectors such as MEs, we'll also continue to give them more support. And for the realistic market, there are 16 policies, and believe ODs that 16 policies will also be postponed. So we believe that we should take more time and also be more confident in China's economy. Thank you. Cover news and how you evaluate the credit and H1 and which areas giving more credit. Anything will be changed in the second half of this year? Thank you for your question. And the new loans was 15.73 trillion yuan, 2 trillion yuan more, as showing a further support given by the financial institutes. The state-owned enterprises in H1 are the main receivers of loans with 12.8 yuan, and also taking up the 80%. And for the household, their loans increased by around 500 billion yuan. And for this incremental number, as the loans for the consumption in short time, and also for operation and H1, 2.3 trillion yuan, it's around 750 billion yuan more. That's for the financial, the operation loan, and for the consumption loan, it's around 400 billion yuan more. And for the by sectors, more going to the manufacturing, infrastructure, construction, and other key projects. A loan to real estate market also showed continued recovery. And the structure of loan giving to the sectors also continued to improve. The growth of the medium long-term loan to manufacturing also further improved. And the part increased by 40.3%. 10.7 percentage points higher than the same period last year, and 22.3 percentage points higher than the average, and a 2.51 trillion yuan loan increased. And the high-tech manufacturing, their long-term loan increased by 41.5%, 11.5 percentage points higher than same period last year. And the newly issued loan to the high-tech sector increased by around 100 billion yuan. If you're looking at infrastructure construction, mid long-term loan increased quite fast. By the end of June, the growth rate was 15.8%, 3.3 percentage points higher than same period last year, and 3.25 trillion yuan increased, 1.1 trillion yuan in incremental. And if we can see for realistic is also going up, and the number for realistic market was 7.1% in growth compared to the end of last month and the last year, and 0.2 percentage point and 0.85 percentage points higher, and also it's increased in 11 months in a row. The newly loan was around 600 billion, and it's 400 billion more loan increased. Going forward, we'll continue to look at the loans and credit support and the structural and the skill point of views, and also will also weighted more to the key weak links and also the key projects, and will also further help the real economy operating in a healthy range. Thank you.
Good morning, Market News International. Recently, many banks have cut deposit rates again. What is the impact of the reduction in deposit rates on households' fixed-time deposits and their medium and long-term loans? And what is the future trend of these two items? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. In April 2022, PBOC set up a market-based interest rates mechanism. So the banks adjust the interest rate based on the market change. So from the September to April 2023, and the banks by themselves changed saving interest rate, deposit interest rate, and we have seen the fixed term that will help to lower the net interest margin and the state-owned banks and also the shareholding banks, and based on their operations, further cut some of the deposit rate. It reflects that the market mechanism start to leverage its role, and also showing that the market level actually is further improved. After the bank changed the deposit rate by themselves, and we could see the number continue to decrease. And the weighted average of the current deposits is around 2%, and the fixed deposit is around 2.2%, 0.12 percentage point lower. That all help to stabilize the operation of banks, and also creating enabling environment for the enterprises getting loans, and also make sure that our support to the real economy could be realized in the fixed long run, and that's also sustainable. For banks' deposit, we could see their savings continue to increase. It also help to maintain a well-ordered competition. And going forward, the PP also will continue to leverage the role of the market-oriented mechanism to adjust the deposit loan, and also help to stabilizing the bank's credit level, and also serving the real economy. And we also encourage that the commercial banks can also sell the government loans at the counter, and we will also have the more that the loan with or the financial products as in the various forms with the good yield rate, and also with a sound return. CMG. The end of June, people also decided to increase the rate discounting and also re-lending to the agricultural sector. And would you please elaborate more in this regard? What's the result so far? Let me take your question. Starting from this year, PBOC firmly implement decisions of the State Council, and also continue to understand that the policies issued by and the requirements of the Financial Stability and Development Committee under the State Council. And first, we actually adopted the various methods to support the SMEs and the agricultural companies, and further continue to increase re-lending. So, as you mentioned, that's the 200 billion yuan of the rate lending and the rate discounting we issued to release liquidity and also support the local enterprises, and also increase the inclusive loans by 2.2 trillion yuan. And the effective date of the policies extended to the end of 2024. That's 1 year extension. So enabling the financial institutions to support development of SMEs. And second, we got the financial institutions to optimize their financial resources, and also emphasize the fintech application. For the commercial banks, the 50 BP of the internal the financial resources allocated to the SMEs and also the agricultural products. And third, we also have the platform for accounts receivable SMEs, and we also help that around 800 billion yuan of the SMEs loans, and also the rate discounting loans was around that 280 billion. And we also expand our tools and also the methods to give support to the loan issuing to the SMEs and also the inclusive loans. And we support the financial enterprises who issued at around 1,124 billion yuan of the loans targeting to the SMEs. By the end of June this year, the outstanding loan of the inclusive loan increased by 26%, and around 530 million enterprises received inclusive loan, increasing by 53.3%, and the average interest rate of the loan is 4.57%. That's at a quite low level in history. Going forward, the PB also continue to implement the policies and the spirit of the 20th National Congress and continue to better serve the SME and the real economy. And on one hand, we'll continue to have more tools to support the relending and rediscounting and also the loans given to the SMEs and agricultural sector. On the other hand, we'll also continue to help increase a synergy created by the financial agencies so that information can be further shared. And they also have a more capability and willingness and also the support to the SMEs and the cultural sectors can be in a sustainable way. CNBC. A question regarding to the developers. So as you mentioned that the postponed of the policy released on Monday, how that impacts developers getting loans. Some the developing enterprises, they have quite a high leverage. The land and also the other operating the fund tools actually expanded bluntly. That also cost a very high loans of the realistic. So we look into the details. The financial loans account for 31%, and the loans from the bank taking half of these, less than half of these. If you're judging from this structure, that the outstanding loan is around 58 trillion yuan, and for the household loan, that's around 40 trillion yuan. And they paid mortgage monthly, and non-performing loan lower than 5%. For the individual housing loans, because the house are not finished, they also have a default risk, but this part actually is a very low number. And the realistic loan outstanding, it's around 6 trillion yuan. And some of the developing the companies are facing the operating challenges, and that's also caused them to may have the default challenges, but the risk actually very small and controllable. And the PBOC help the other departments and authorities to stabilize the realistic market and also do the following. First, we have to the specific or the targeted loans. That's around 350 billion RMB to help to deliver the housing at the same time. And second, we also have the equity financing and bond financing support. And we also give the credit support to the bond and equity issuers. And third, also help to realize the transformation of the industry. And we also right now draft on the policies on the renting and selling of the real estates, and will help to provide the policies that covering the whole cycle. And right now in Jinan and Zhengzhou are piloting cities. With some of the housing enterprises, they accumulated some risks. They need some time to diffuse all these risks. In the recent months, the PB also work with other authorities. That's the expansion time mentioned in the A16. The terms actually extended 1 year more, and will give further support to the on-time delivery of the housing. And we also extend that 200 billion loan support to the end of 2025. So we'll continue to support a policy that housing for living in, not for speculation, and also work with the local departments and local authorities to stabilize the market, and also to support the products related to people's well-being, and also create a sound financial environment. Taking into the consideration of the changes happened in the demand and supply of the housing market. At the edge of the improvement actually is also can be realized. So we will also take more policies in this part to promote a sound and healthy development of the real estate market. So post news. And my question regarding aggregate financing, and was the structure of the aggregate financing. Thank you for your question. By the end of June, the aggregate financing has around increased by 9%, 0.5 percentage point and 0.9 percentage point lower than the last month and last year. And that's 21.55 trillion yuan increased. It's around the 500 billion yuan more than that in the previous years. And the RMB loan increased. For H1, the RMB loans increased by 15.6 trillion yuan. That's 1.99 trillion yuan more. And also the off-balance sheet loans also increase. That's around 138 billion yuan more, and the increase, and also the acceptance of the bill has increased. And third, we're looking at the net financing of the government bonds and decrease. That's the 1.27 trillion yuan lower. And government bill for the local government, their financing is around 2.45 trillion yuan. That's 1 trillion yuan lower. And the reason related to the rhythm of the issuance. For last year, the base number was quite high. And direct financing of the enterprises also dropped sharply. For H1, and that's the 1.17 trillion yuan. That's around that 700 billion yuan lower than in the previous year. The bond financing drop. That's around 40 billion yuan. But based on our observation, we could see that the edge improvement, that's 220 billion yuan in the enterprises loan, and the gap actually was lowered. Thank you.
I have two questions. What's your outlook on the currency? We've seen stronger than expected yuan fixing since late June. Has China reintroduced the countercyclical factor again? And is the PBOC going to use other tools like cutting the FX RRR to prevent wild swings in the currency? Secondly, will you take more steps to address the ongoing weakness in the property market? If yes, what specific steps? And will this focus on city-level policies or broader macro-level policies? And just quickly, Deputy Governor Liu, you just said that it's common wisdom the economy will now take 1 year to recover from the pandemic, and we're only half a year in. That seems a lot more pessimistic than how the government was talking about the economy in March at the MPC or in months since then. Is it the common wisdom at the PBOC that recovery will take another 6 months? Thank you.
好，请翻译一下问题。
我的问题是美国彭博新闻社的提问。请问央行如何展望人民币的汇率走势？6月末以来，中间价开始显著强于市场模型的预测。请问中国是否重新引入了中间价逆周期因子？请问央行还会采取如下调外汇存款准备金利率这些工具来稳定人民币汇率吗？同时，我也想问一个关于房地产市场的问题：央行是否会采取更多措施来解决房地产行业面临的问题？如果是的话，具体会采取哪些措施？是在地方城市层面采取措施，还是更加广泛的宏观政策层面的措施？那同时，关于刘行长，您刚才提到，一般来说，在疫后复苏可能要花1年的这个时间，而现在我们只经历了半年的时间，似乎您的这个看法比3月以来中国两会之后的一些表态更加的悲观。您是否认为整个的复苏的过程还需要半年的时间？
好，谢谢提问啊，我先就是回答一下汇率。
Thank you for your question, and I will take your question regarding the FX. And regarding your last questions, it takes some time. That's a process. Judging from China's situation, and we could see a good momentum, but still need a process to adjust and adapt to the situation. They're very normal. It's normal to have some fluctuations, but I'm very confident see a very positive momentum. So let me answer the questions regarding the FX. And the recent period of time, we have seen some fluctuation happened in the foreign exchange rate, the currency rate. So in the previous times, we emphasized that the exchange rate should be adjusted in an objective way, and you could not adjust it on your own will, because that not only hurt yourself, also hurt others. And it cannot have a very accurate forecast in long run. And you need to take the full picture, including the short-term and long-term performance. And also there are many factors impact the exchange rate. So that could have some of the volatilities, no matter it's going up or down, will be within a certain a reasonable or expected rate. And it's actually lower than the A7 threshold for 3 times, but also back to the A7 again 3 times. And this time, the RMB to US dollars, lower than the A7 for the 4th time. after 2019. And in recent days, you could see that the curve backed up again. Obviously, China is the large exporting and importing country. So it's no matter it's too high or too low, it's not good to any side of the foreign trade. And we adjust our currency or the exchange rate based on a basket of policies, and we have a very good mechanism. So this mechanism basically saying that the exchange rate decided by the market, and also the leveraging the rules of the government and the market. So you will not see a big fluctuation in the changes of the RMB exchange rate. Some the curve going down, but still that within the reasonable range. And we also have the mechanism that's proved effective and sound. And also the settlement and the sale of exchange also operated in an orderly manner. So there's no big boss really in the market to manipulate the exchange rate. That it's basic saying that the fundamental of China's economy actually not changed. And China's economy will see a momentum as curve going up. If you're looking at the currency convertibility under current account, that's controlled at 2%, and that's will stay at a quite stable level. And we also see a net inflow of the international balance. And in terms of the FX, the outstanding number actually quite large, surpassing the $3 trillion. So it's starting from these three big factors. Then they will not have the unilateral up and down of the RMB. That will be the two-way fluctuation of the RMB exchange. And so that will also make sure that the RMB exchange rate fluctuates in a stable range. And also the PBOC have a quite rich experience and to deal with the environment outside. And we will not go too calm or too urgent. And we have that the tools help us to deal with the situation in the market. As you mentioned about the tools, the policy tools, and we have ample tools, and we will also use the tools in cope with the actual situation. So we have the different tools in the toolbox, and we also have the most suitable one to use based on different situation. Going forward, the PBOC will make sure that the foreign exchange rates in the stable range, and also manage the expectation. Also adjust if necessary. To avoid the huge fluctuation. About the property market, in terms of the policy implementation consideration, I believe that we already answered part of your questions. And I would like to further introduce about the credits. Beginning from this year, PBOC followed the decision and deployment of the State Council, and we focus on both demand and supply side to make sure that the property market operating in a reasonable and stable range. So we could see the property market show a quite a stable recovery curve, and based on the previously postponed the housing needs, we could see that realized in Q1, and starting from April, we could see a normal performance of the property market. That's also reflected in the credit number, and the loans for the property market that's issued at the beginning of the project and also received back when the property constructed. And normally, that's the loan receivers actually use the pre-sold housing capitals to pay back the loans from the banks. That's 420 billion loans issued to the developers to help them speed up their projects, make sure that they deliver their projects on time. And the loan issued to the individual also related to the housing sold, number of housing sold. And the repayment based on the household's income and individual housing loans was 3.5 trillion yuan at 510 billion yuan loan, more than the previous year. The outstanding loan of the individual is a little bit decreased, because that's the yield rate of the financial return, and they also pay back early. That's not impact to the demand of housing. That's the basically reallocation of people's money among different choices. The LPR in the contract, actually that's fixed within the contract time period. So basically, that's a number in the previous year is quite high. That's also related to the early payback of the housing loans. That's impact the profit of the financial institutions. We support and encourage commercial institutions to negotiate with the loan receivers to update the contract or issue new loans to replace the existing loans. Thank you. Thank you. With Yicai. Judging from the current recovery of China's economy, I would like to invite the PBOC to evaluate that whether we have more room for a further triple R cut. Your questions, Mr. Liu actually mentioned in his opening remark and his answers to the first question. The China's economy actually right now on the lanes of recovery after pandemic. We talk about production, the allocation, and consumption that's changed in dynamic manner. So that basically recovery needed time to really see the actual effect. as Mr. Liu mentioned, that we need to have the patience and the confidence. Right now, China at a critical moment of economic recovery and transformation. So the traditional industry could see the lack of the dynamisms. But if you're looking at the new driving forces actually are in the making. So in this process, different market entities have different feeling about the economic perspective. So the prudent military policies also supported from different angles in terms of the aggregate skill structure, support and better serve the real economy. And we have the enough room to deal with the new changes and challenges. And we also have ample tools in the toolbox as well. And going forward, we will continue to strengthen and redouble our efforts to use our tools and policies in targeted manner, and also to use the triple R, and also the MLP, and also the lending rate discounting to realize the stable increase of credit support and also lower the lending. At the same time, we will also continue to improve the role of the tool and policies, and also further support the inclusive loans given to the SMEs and agricultural products, and also further support the green industries, as well as other key areas and projects. And we also will have the policies to support the financial, the technological companies, and for the property market, we'll continue to help the developers they prevail their difficult times and also deliver the housing on time, and to also help the property market operate in a healthy manner. And we also make sure that the banking system will not weaken our support. If necessary, we can innovate tools and policies to provide targeted financial support to the weak links in our economy. Last two questions. And the first century. My question regarding the inclusive loans for the technical companies. Any measures? What's the progress so far? Thank you for your question. Right now, the Chinese economy has entered into a new phase, and technical innovation also an important pillar to foster the new development paradigm and high-quality development. And PBOC and other financial authorities earnestly implement the decisions and deployment of the Party Central Committee and State Council, and putting the supporting to the innovation on top of our list. And we have also expanded and enriched the tools and policies to support the tech companies. We have seen a rapid growth of the loans to these companies, and also the services also improved. By the end of June, that's 2.71 trillion yuan issued. It's 498 billion more. That's a 20.4% increase. And that's in the 40 months. That's the number above 20%. The average interest rate is 4.09%. That's 39 BP lower. loan to SMEs in technical sector increased by 400 billion yuan, and the growth rate was 25.1%, and the weighted average interest rate is 4.05%, 39 BP lower than the growth rate of loans overall. Going forward, the PBOC will work with relative departments, implement the requirements of the State Council, and to further enrich the financial tools, and also to improve the corresponding mechanism and systems, and make sure that the financial support channel more to the tech companies, so the tech companies receive better service. First, we will strengthen our capability of credit support. Get the policy banks better support the country's strategic products. So that's the policy and development banks. For commercial banks, we'll encourage them to issue more to the tech companies, and also to establish a professional risk evaluation system, and also have the award and punishment systems, and further improve their organization and provide the suitable products to the technical company. And second, we talk about direct loans from the markets. So we will further enrich the bond products. In terms of the equity financing, and we will also to leverage the government loans. And it will also further improve the a system for the private equity. So we talk about that direct, the financing that's basically the bond and equity financing. And we also to further improve the risk sharing systems, and for the key equipment, machinery, and also the needed products. We will also like to share the risk of the new innovation. And fourth, we will continue to support the tech companies get financing from the international capital market, and also to share information. And we also continue to roll out the reform in the financial policies. And we help the financial institutions to manage their risks. And we also will further to get the government investment fund. And we also will see a market limitation, also the set up in the market. So we will not deoccupy or pile up the risks in the market. Thank you very much from the Security Times. So you talk about the property market a lot. I still would like to see the current loans or the credit support to the property market. And also the mortgage loans. Actually, for Madame Ran mentioned about the credit structure, already mentioned all these, and just now I introduced that from the statistic point of view, we talk about outstanding loans or outstanding balance of loans, and we're also looking at how we support. So we also introduce about the credit support to the developing company that's around the 200 billion. For the individual, that's around 500 billion more. And for the early payback, that's because of the interest rates. So we could see a quite large number and in the early payback. So we could see that a quite increase in the credit issuance, but also at the same time we see also quite large number of the mortgage early payback. So people looking at the outstanding balance of loans, saying that not give enough support, the people actually may have come up their own the decision or the idea is that it's not really optimistic about the recovery of the property market. So you need to really understand the logic behind all these numbers. As I mentioned, the mortgage early payback that's related to the stock of the LPR or the interest rate for the housing loans. So that's the 99% of the loans actually is based on the floating interest rate. So that's basically LPR plus 1 BP. So they actually discuss this interest rate and also include in the contract. So that's basically that contract, no matter it's 20 years or 30 years, that interest rate not changed. And every month we update the LPR. So sometimes the LPR going up, sometimes going down. It's based on different factors. Last year is a 0.45% or 45 BP lower. So basically, that your contracted interest rate also 45 BP lower, but actually that's the additional BP not changed. Of course, this is not the only reason that impact the early payback. We look at the yield number of the asset management. So that the people actually change their asset relocation. So also seeing that the fixed the saving actually also increase. So for different households, for different people, they have different choices. They relocate their money. That is why you could see some people chose to pay back early their mortgage. So that also impact the outstanding balance of the loans. So this is how I would like to explain the overall situation. Thank you. And this is the end of today's presser. Thank you very much, the speakers, and also thanks our friends from the media. Bye for now.